Welcome to Acquired Taste Podcast. We are back. It's your boy Dirty D.
It's your boy Tech Daddy.
And it's Queen Bee.
And Ben.
You can't prove anything.
And just Ben.
And Ben. I don't think we ever going to come up with a nickname for it. We're just going to keep it awkward.
That's fine.
Keep the intro awkward. Keep it
I'm
weird.
trying to think of something in my head with Ben and a beret. I'll think of something.
Oh, yeah. You were introduced to that picture earlier of Ben in a beret
That was delightful.
while doing a
I
painting.
can't believe you didn't see it.
That was
I've
delightful.
never seen
Because
that
didn't
either.
John come
He
running out?
did, yeah. So at our 2-year anniversary, for those that are listening that were there at a 2-year anniversary party we had at Foreign Local, Ben was unfortunately not with us, but John was. And I'm sitting outside doing whatever I was doing, and we're all talking. It was a good time. And then out of nowhere, bursts with enthusiasm and energy, John, with all piss and vinegar in his heart.
The crack-fed gerbil that he is.
Indeed. Usually a golden retriever, but yes, indeed. With tears and snot, barely breathing, and laughing so hard, trying to show us a picture of Ben in a beret. Granted, it was worth it. But yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Where was I during this? I don't remember.
We were all there. I don't know why you guys don't remember that. I remember this
Maybe
vividly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you not at the sip and paint with me and all the other basic white women
Maybe I just blacked it all out.
in that particular Indianapolis bar?
Good times.
I'll say it again. That lady sucked.
Well, you have a beef.
I was funny. I was charming. I was a good time, and she sucked.
So back to Ben's dating life. And more for Ben's dating life later, actually.
Yeah, if you had any more reasons to hate French people, as soon as you put on a beret, someone just started treating you like shit.
No,
I said maybe she hates French people more than you do.
I could have dealt.
You've been waiting your whole life for that, and that happens to her once a week at that painting class.
I could have dealt with being treated like shit. It was the fact that she didn't even agnowledge.
It happens once a week for her.
Like
She's
they
like,
didn't acknowledge
Again,
the
Ben's
beret.
dating life later on.
Like another asshole in a beret.
This entire thing sounds like his dating life. Moving on.
That's the last cousin's birthday I go to.
Anyways, welcome to our Crisis Podcast. If you are new, just giving us a check out. We are a history podcast. We talk about a little bit of everything, though. If you're new, thanks for giving us a shout. We usually get to the subject about, 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes into our episode. So if you are here for the content, you skip ahead a little bit. We do a little bit of banter, get us warmed up, get the old juices flowing, break the ice, if you will. So yeah, listen to us banter if you want to. If not, skip ahead. You'll get to the actual subject. Or, yeah, we're kind of funny. Or if you want to hear more about Ben's dating life, we're really funny. So
that wasn't a date.
I know it wasn't, but that entire description sounded like
and
you're dating.
it never will be.
That's
Damn it!
That's fine.
That was good. That was real good.
That's more
That was
than
real
fine.
good.
Also, I wouldn't talk shit when you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just out here.
Have you seen Titanic? Let go.
Wow.
If you're a return listener to Acquired Taste Podcast, we appreciate you still sticking with us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate all the shares that you give us, all the love that you show us, and all you guys that continue to listen to us,
And all the patience.
and all the for our shenanigans. We thank you for
We
that.
light a candle in your honor.
There's one lit
Yeah.
downstairs, so my house smells nice.
Ah, there you go.
Especially anyone who stuck with us through last week's episode.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God, I was listening to that.
That train wreck.
Because usually I listen to them before they come out, and
Sure.
I hadn't checked this one out, and there was like a 3-minute segment that was just you and John wheezing,
So was Brandy.
It's
She's just a silent laugher.
and then like every now and then a word would break through. Like Aaron was just trying to fucking like
I was
fish it in.
trying my best.
He's trying to
Trying my best. Like the phrase "herding cats" does not.
like there was
Even-
a point in like my fucking headphones. I was like, oh shit, like because it was John's in particular.
It's
when
always
the
John's.
wheeze had
Yeah.
like it peaked.
Yeah.
You know, it peaked.
It's always John. My favorite thing about John is that he thinks that he can talk and laugh at the same time.
I'm like, dude, you got to breathe. Like, stop.
That's my favorite talent that he thinks he
He
has.
does this thing where he'll be talking and he'll start cracking himself up more and more as he's talking, and then he'll run out of air and he'll be like talking like this.
Yeah, it was
It's so
ridiculous.
funny.
You got to breathe, man.
Making it worse that we were fucking sober when this all transpired.
Yeah,
Really?
that's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
Yeah. I
Seemed like some marijuana might have been in the mix.
could
No.
not get a hold of the
We
room.
were
I
all-
lost the room.
I just had rabies.
all just stone cold sober. For
I
that.
was I
Oh,
was
God.
fine. I was here for business until he said Boy Scouts, and then I just lost it.
and then it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, swiftly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, if you've been a current or returning listener, again, we thank you. We appreciate you. Keep sharing us. Keep supporting us. We always will show you the love. And as per usual, you get 4 kisses. There you go. There's 4 kisses. Speaking of which, there's still that drink over at Foreign Local.
Oh,
Or the non-alcoholic.
Foreign Local
It's
right
moving.
now. Right now they're not open for business.
That's right.
Last day was supposed to be November 30th, and then he ended up having to unexpectedly close this previous
Yeah, I
week.
saw that.
It was crazy too. So, a quick little story. So, a buddy of mine, shout out to Shane and Vacant Voice, was supposed to be playing at Foreign Local that night. So the show got canceled, obviously, because Mikey was closing down. So they set the show up at Culver's in Hammond, Indiana.
I heard about that.
They made the flyer. It was going down, and then I guess something happened with the general manager who was not fully aware of the situation.
Oh,
'Cause
That doesn't surprise
it
me
picked
in
up
the
steam
least.
fast.
Oh, very fast.
Like it got hundreds of shares. People were just like metal show at Culver's.
At Culver's, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Like fucking Butterburger
I'm gonna get
mosh
a
pit.
concrete mixer and fuck somebody up.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
Butterburger beatdowns, dude. Just
Yep.
everybody catching fucking beef patties and fucking fists.
Whipping
You know what I mean?
cheese curds at people.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Man, we got the Krabby Patty at Wendy's and metal shows at Culver's.
man.
What a time to be
Dude,
alive.
if it would
That
have
squirrel
happened,
really did fuck up the timeline.
if they would have pulled it off, like if for some reason the general managers just would have allowed it, it would have been legendary.
Oh, it's like the Denny's
Yeah.
thing all over again.
Oh my god, yeah.
I
It
feel
would've
It would have been the Denny's event.
There's another
all
show
over again.
they did a couple years ago in a Sonic drive-through. Like they set up right where you would order the food, and those bands blew the fuck up.
That's incredible.
Yeah, because it was just an insane fucking,
I feel like there was a 19-year-old assistant manager in here somewhere that just didn't run it up the chain.
That's
and
the
just
thing.
went, yeah, let's do this.
They knew somebody that pretty much promised them was
Yeah.
like, it's cool, and so they made the flyer. They,
That's the feeling I'm getting.
and some of these are like professional touring bands, so they weren't just like they were like, okay, cool, we just need a venue to play. We got everything else. We're gonna come and set up, and which they would have fucked that place up. Like Culver's.
Oh,
would've been
yeah, it would
fucking-
never been the same.
Nobody would have just respected the rules. Like a hardcore show at Culver's.
Again, like
fuck you,
Denny's.
dude. Like
Yeah, what the fuck is up, Denny's?
Yeah.
Would have been that all
fuck
over
is up
again.
Culver's and just fucking throwing chairs.
You
and
can't,
shit.
you can't have something like that at a place that serves a grand slam. Like the comedy,
Too many
It's in the name.
pints.
the comedy writes itself.
It's in the
Yeah,
name. I
you're
get it.
asking for
Yeah,
it.
the
you know?
felonies write themselves.
Yeah, I heard about the show. I'm like, man, that seems like a ridiculously hilarious idea.
Man, me and Montanez were primed up,
I'm
dude.
just
Oh,
imagining-
dude, Montanez would have been half the damn problem.
dude, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Shout out to Montanez. We love you, but we know you, and you would have destroyed at least something.
Yeah.
like something would have gotten fucked up.
Montanez is like a known mosh legend, dude. He would have done
Oh, yeah.
something crazy there.
Do you guys remember the Harlem Shake?
Yeah,
No.
You remember that YouTube video in the Denny's? I'm pretty sure it was Denny's. And the manager comes out and just shuts it down. They started the music where it's just the one
Sounds
person
vaguely
going.
familiar.
And it start, right before it drops, somebody comes from out of frame. No!
Man,
Oh, man.
I loved that trend. There were some funny ass videos that came out of the Harlem Shake trend.
yeah, there were a couple good
I
ones.
forgot about those.
I remember my roommate was doing one. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna go.
Wow. I forgot all
I don't
about
think
that.
about Denny's without thinking about the Harlem Shake first.
Yeah, Denny's. My
Because of
first
the-
thing I think about with Denny's is Denny's. What the fuck is up, Denny's? Like,
Denny's?
that's my first
Fucking
thought.
breakdown. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Shit's hard as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they missed the golden opportunity this Friday because that
Dude,
was
because
that
it
just
would have been legendary.
Dude,
Yeah.
the only better place than Culver's would have been a Hardee's.
Dude, Chaz was like, they should have done it at fucking Arby's, dude. Where's the beef?
Arby's.
It just fucking.
Martinez had the beef.
Wait,
Martinez would have had the fucking
Are
beef.
you saying Arby's or did you hear me say Arby's?
Did you say Arby's?
I said Hardee's.
Hardee's.
Oh.
Yeah, Hardee's.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't think about Arby's. That's awesome.
Wait, I thought
Where's the beef?
Yeah.
I thought Wendy's is where's the beef. Arby's is we have the meats.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That sounds about right, actually.
Wendy's is where's the
None of
beef.
them pay us for advertising, so we don't give a fuck.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't.
Fuck y'all.
And if we give us money, though,
One of them
then
is the
unfuck
beef.
y'all.
though.
Yeah, it's Wendy's. Wendy's
it?
is
Okay.
Wendy's
yeah,
is where's
yeah,
the
you're
beef.
right.
Oh, right, because I was at a whole thing where they
Yeah.
had 100%,
Oh, okay.
and everybody else was doing the bullshit.
Yeah,
I remember
and
that
then
now.
Arby's is the guy with the deep voice. He's like, "We have the meats." I can't
We
do
have
it.
the meats.
There you go.
I
Thank
gotcha.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
It's been so long since I had to watch a commercial.
Yeah, right. I paid money to not.
Thanks to modern technology.
I paid good money to
I
not.
don't have the money to not watch commercials, so
Well, anyway, if you work at or manage a fast food restaurant, you can let bands play. Shoot us an email with Quiet Taste Podcast. I want to talk to you.
yes, please.
Dude, yeah, we have ideas.
I'm
yeah.
voting for Taco Bell.
What
Yeah.
about? Isn't there like a Checkers around here somewhere?
There's a rally.
They're
Rallies or
and
Checkers.
both of them in the hood.
Popeyes,
Yeah.
dude. Hardcore show at Popeyes.
The Popeyes
Dude,
and Griffin.
what a Griffin.
The Griffin Popeyes.
Oh, my
the
God.
big vacant parking lot.
That's got to be a
Yeah.
mosh pit during the work
That
what
day.
I'm
would be
saying, dude.
incredible. Chickens flying.
Hell yeah.
Dude, there's going
Mashed
to be
potatoes
The
everywhere.
speaker's broken anyway.
There's
They
gonna
can just
be-
tear that shit down.
there's going to be a custody dispute in the fucking show.
Oh, yeah.
At that Popeye. But
Oh,
if you want to see a Checkers, you got to go to Lansing. The rest of them are rallies.
Yeah,
Oh,
Illinois is
okay.
Checkers.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Indiana's
Indiana. I
rallies.
thought they were all Checkers now, but whatever, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, they've always been the same.
I'm
It's
aware
like
of
a-
that,
yeah,
but I thought
but-
Checkers
Like,
bought out rallies.
It's like Hardee's and Carl's Jr.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know that, but I thought that Checkers bought it all.
Oh,
No,
I
not to my
have no
knowledge. They've always
Oh.
just run them as
Yeah, I know they were separate
Two
forever. Separate but equal. Separate but equal, quote unquote. Quote unquote. Yep. Let it wash over you. Yep, there's a joke there. There is a joke there. We just had an election. Anyways.
Can we talk about the fight? I would have
Speaking of controversial topics,
I would
Yeah,
have
right.
so mad if I spent $75 on that horse shit.
Am I the
There
only
were
one that didn't
people
watch
buffering.
it? I haven't watched anything of
I
There were
had
people who
no
paid
intention
for
on
that?
watching that. I had no intention upon watching that fight whatsoever.
Yeah.
Me and the girlfriend, we're going to go out on a date. We're going to get some dinner somewhere. It's going to be real nice. She's like, no, I want to drink whiskey or tequila and watch this fight like a man. I'm like, all right, I guess.
All right, bro.
All right, dude. That's fine. That's cool.
did she peg you after that, or
Yeah, the Ramos and Barrios fight was
That was,
awesome.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good fight.
The two women, Katie and
That was a good fight.
Serrano,
Sure.
something
Yeah.
like that. Their fight was
That was a
good.
good fight.
The beginning fight, not so much, and then the end of it.
Well, mine started buffering. I'm like, I pay good money for my internet.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
was-
yeah.
I was watching it on a TikTok live stream and it kept buffering, and I'm like, "Fuck this!" and I just turned it off.
There was no getting around it.
Yeah, we,
Until the very end. Then they got their shit together. Not the very end, but once
Yeah.
once it was finally
Once
to the
enough
headline.
people dropped off of the stream,
Yeah, they
like-
finally got their act together or whatever. But there were
one job.
70,000 people in the stadium. Like, you knew how many tickets you sold. So you know how many people are going to be at home watching it, or you have a rough idea.
well, because it was free for everybody.
Yeah.
Because that was that one, like, Netflix was free for, I think, the everybody to watch that fight. It was ridiculous. They did not have their shit together for that.
The whole thing was trash.
Checkers.
It was rigged.
Dude, I was in the
Right.
drive-through, like
Yeah,
getting
but I thought
food
it was
on the way home.
But so I was right then.
Yeah.
They're not rallies anymore in Indiana. They're Checkers.
You're right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
The Checkers.
Yeah, they changed.
Wow.
I'll never go to one now.
Yeah, I know it wasn't crazy. Like, dude, I love rallies, man. Like, I know. That's my damn. That's my blood sugar.
Yeah, no, I love rallies.
My cholesterol. Goddammit. I'm on medication right now
they
because of
got-
motherfuckers.
They got maybe my favorite fries.
Oh, easily. That's why I
And-
buy them.
and all-
They sell them at Walmart.
I'll do
Yeah,
a big
and all
Buford.
fast
and
food.
fucking,
Dude, number one,
you
Big
know,
Buford, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Those are some
I was
those
there.
are good fries.
Dude, I was getting
They sell them at Walmart, by the way. You can buy the frozen ones.
I didn't know that.
My favorite
yeah.
fries
I
are,
really don't.
Yeah,
I really
I
don't
buy them
shop
all
at
the time,
Walmart.
dude. Yeah.
My favorite fries are Mr. Goodies.
Mr. Goodies are fucking amazing. I
Yeah.
love their
Goodies.
fries.
They
I
have the
miss Mr.
best
Goodies.
fries.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've had Mr. Goodies.
I'm
but-
like right down the street we are right down the street, sort of
Yeah,
from
Mr.
them.
Yeah, that place is so good. I used
Dude,
to.
the
I would
hot
just,
dog special, like
Yeah,
$6.50.
two hot dogs
two
and some
Chicago
fries.
style, some fries.
Yeah.
$6.50, dude.
Yeah, I usually do a pizza pocket and some lemon rice soup and fries.
Those pizza puffs were good.
Yeah,
as
pizza
well.
puffs. Mostly fuck, yeah, they do.
Hell yeah.
I had a
Hell
pizza
yeah.
puff for the first time in years the other day.
Was it everything you hoped?
Do you
it
not
was?
like
mad.
those either?
I wasn't mad. You are entirely too close to the fucking staircase, DJ. And as we've shown before, I can replace you.
It's not the first staircase I've fallen down. Let's be real here.
DJ's more machine than man at this point.
It hasn't been obvious. It's going to take a lot more of that to get rid of me.
I'm DJ, the people's cockroach.
He's like,
Yeah,
if it's not-
exactly.
if it's not
At the end of the
spiral
world, like when
staircase.
it's like the apocalypse, it's going to be me and the cockroaches.
And Twinkies.
And like Robin Williams said about Keith Richards.
Yeah, with Keith Richards,
I smoked your uncle. Crazy. I can't do an accent. I smoked your uncle.
I love
Did you
those
know that?
comedy specials.
Dude, that
So good.
HBO one I will be talking
Yeah.
about till the day I die.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Don't we have an actual intro, by the way? Like, speaking of animals, did
We
you
do.
deal with things?
Yes.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
So since we started the podcast, I've messed around with ChatGPT and tried to ask it about the podcast, and it never gave us anything. I would have to give it the information for it to give me a rewritten version back.
We were safe from Skynet until you
because it
fucked us.
wasn't
Yeah.
because it wasn't like because at first for a long time GPT-3 was like only information from like 2021 and earlier.
Yeah,
So like a lot of our stuff wasn't even really
yeah.
didn't even really exist yet.
And the updates now are just getting crazy because I asked it today and it gave me all kinds of answers about the podcast. It knew a lot about all of us, which was interesting.
It also made some shit up.
Yeah, it made some stuff up,
how about
talking
that?
shit,
Yeah.
which is also hilarious.
Food, culture.
Talking a little shit.
Food, culture, cuisine. What?
The ChatGPT has a sense of humor, but I decided to ask ChatGPT what our spirit animals were.
Boy.
Now, we haven't heard these yet. So, these, you're hearing the first on the podcast. We haven't heard these yet. So,
Brand new information.
And John's not here to defend himself. I love it.
And Brandy's got
He's
two
bad
because I
anyways.
spelled your name with because it spelled your name with a Y.
That's rude.
And then I changed it to an I and asked it again,
And it was different.
and it gave me a different
Oh,
answer.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll start with Aaron's. Is represented by a wise owl.
That's what I said.
That
That's
makes
what I
sense.
said. I said you were an owl.
forever ago, yes.
Forever
Now,
ago.
It did.
I can see. No, I mean, it's just the angriest hoot. Like,
Hoot.
I can see it. Somebody knocking on the door. Goes,
That was way better than I expected.
It's
who
because
the fuck is there?
it's because like you ever see those owls? They're like sitting up in a tree and they're all squinty eyed and they're looking at you like they're judging the fuck out of you. And they're like,
I know exactly that. Aaron, every fucking
That
time we
is
do the
Aaron.
podcast,
Have you bet you guys? Jeez. Horrible. Make it easy to judge. Like, look at your lives.
it says he's often the anchor of the group, offering calm and reasoned insights. Like an owl, Aaron is observant and knowledgeable, helping guide the discussion with careful thought and consideration.
always trying to get us back on track.
That's the main part. But accurate, though. I'll deal with that. That's actually a pretty good
That
description.
is accurate.
I feel like it was nicer than it had to be.
It was very nice. All the answers that I got were very nice.
I feel like I want to ask ChatGPT, like, can we cut the bullshit? Can you give me like real?
Aaron's got a lot of underlying. Listen, motherfucker, to him.
Well, see, I never have to say it. I give you a look.
Right.
gives it. The look sells it.
Next is myself. It calls me a playful dolphin.
What?
See, I learned way so much about dolphins. That's not okay. That's not okay.
You're on a list.
There are some weird things that I know about
You're
dolphins.
the red god of the ocean.
Dolphins do some weird shit.
They do
Thank
be
you,
doing
Cultural
some weird
Geographic.
shit. I've been doing some weird shit though. You know,
They
You
do
know
be
what
getting
I'm
high,
saying?
though.
I
You know
hope
what
you're
I'm
not
saying?
doing what dolphins do. Because,
Yes.
They do be getting high, though. That's
Yeah,
the thing
that's
that
true.
happens.
Yeah, with the puffer
Pufferfish,
fish. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, that makes sense
That's
now.
funny,
This
yeah.
makes sense now.
Oh my
It says his spontaneous, humorous nature and tendency to bring a lighthearted energy to the podcast make him the life of the conversation, much like a dolphin's playful demeanor in the water.
Adorable.
What about the laugh?
I mean, he doesn't sound like a dolphin.
I
when
don't
he
think I
laughs
sound
at all.
like a dolphin.
No.
No, the people have said he sounds like Kermit the Frog, and that's been pretty much
That's-
it. Since
yeah.
then.
There's some-
And I still don't hear it. I don't.
I've never even thought about that. I'm gonna listen to
I've
it.
heard it.
It's close
People have
and-
told me this
Yeah.
a
I'm
lot.
gonna listen.
I'll
It's
fucking die
close
on that hill. I
enough
don't-
that it
you know.
works. It's close enough that it works.
I don't hear it. Okay, Ben.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
It says Ben might be akin to a fox.
Well, he does have a red beard.
Yeah, maybe it just saw like the picture of your face. And it was like, well, it's obviously a fox.
Well, if it saw that,
Oh yeah, Ben's a fox, John's Puerto Rican. It's fine.
yeah, what's John's
John's spirit animal is a Puerto Rican.
I mean, is it racist? Is it? I don't know. You know.
I'm saying that sometime in the future, what's your spirit animal? A Puerto Rican. What's your spirit animal? Rallies.
You got to give it a fucking.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
I don't know what's
It might be too far gone.
That's part of John's lore from
Me-
now. Tell ChatGPT.
Me and Brandy.
John is Puerto Rican. I should tell John's Puerto Rican, by the way, and Brandy's not a bartender.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Brandy and I were in a race to say that sentence.
We were also both laughing too hard to get it out quickly.
John's spirit animal is a Puerto Rican. That's porque.
God. John's got to do that for Halloween, like dye his hair black and put some spray tan on.
Yes,
I got
Puerto
this
Rican
weird-
that's
John.
standard blackface.
Just stand like this the whole time.
That is
Yeah.
too close to blackface.
Dude,
We can't do that.
I got this weird Pokemon thing going in my head right now.
Oh God, that's funny.
So what's the description here?
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Ben
Fox.
often dives deep into the details of a topic, offering insights that reflect a strategic, sharp-minded approach. Foxes are known for their intelligence and adaptability, qualities that Ben brings to the table.
So you're a fucking know-it-all.
Plus, I'm a fox.
Okay, back to Ben's dating profile.
Yeah. Put that on
If any of the
Tinder.
ladies are looking, you know. John could be represent a lion.
He deserves it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
He deserves a good one.
It says strong-willed and sometimes a bit bold with his opinions.
Get the fuck out of here. Did you really say that?
It does.
Mufasa was pro space slavery.
This is actually kind of accurate. His spirited contributions to the debates, along with his confidence in expressing his views, align with the lion's leadership qualities. Because John will blindly and proudly say what he's got to
He
say.
sure will. He sure does.
Yeah, he says he's just wrong louder than everybody else.
Yeah.
I fucking love that kid.
Okay, Brandy's got two.
Okay.
Because like I said, there's two spellings with
Is
the
one
Y.
of them like more accurate than the other?
No, one of them likes pumpkin spice, the other doesn't.
So
One of them I'm a bartender.
one you're a bartender and one you're not, basically.
Okay.
So Brandy with the Y, that's bartender Brandy.
Gotcha.
that
That's
makes
my spirit animal.
Yeah.
This is exactly what Brandy needs. Two personalities.
Yeah.
It says her spirit animal might be a bear. Bears are known to be nurturing, strong, and comfortable both in solitude and in social settings, much like Brandy's ability to offer insight into both culinary topics and deeper discussions.
This is Brandy Y.
It just heard me talk about food so passionately.
Right. It knows that, and you like to hibernate.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She brings a balance
do.
of warmth and reliability, often serving as a voice of reason, much like a steady, wise bear. There's even more. Her caring nature, ability to bring comfort and perspective could also associate her with an owl, a symbol of wisdom and intuition.
And that was Brandy with
That's
a Y.
Brandy with a Y.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
Okay.
all Brandy with the
Okay.
Y.
Gotcha.
Now, Brandy with an I is her spirit animal might be a deer. A deer associated with gentleness, intuition, and nurturing qualities that resonate with Brandy's calm yet engaging presence on the podcast.
And can't get out of the way of a car. Is that in there?
God damn it.
I've only been hit by a car once, Ben.
That's one time too many.
Okay, so
That
this
doesn't
one,
make me wrong.
they still bring up food in this one.
Of course they do.
She brings a thoughtful and balanced perspective to discussions, especially with topics related to food or drink.
It's like this bitch just likes to eat and be cozy.
Like a deer, she's grounded, knows how to navigate conversations with a quiet strength, offering valuable insights without overshadowing others. This spirit animal also fits a role to someone who supports and elevates the group's dynamics with empathy and wisdom, often stepping in the well-timed advice and calm humor.
Home humor.
This sounds nice.
I feel like that's an oxymoron.
It does sound nice.
You got to step up your shit talking, Brandy. That's
Apparently, I
what you
don't
got to do.
talk
right.
enough shit.
It's like,
I'm the calm one of the group, apparently.
calm humor. I just
What are you trying to say?
I don't get the phrase.
What are you trying to say?
I don't get the phrase. Humor is just disruptive.
I do have a deer.
Like, on its
I have
own.
a deer on my blanket, so I feel like
Last time I wrote a blame, we had a whole hedgehog issue, and that took us down a wrong path.
Oh, man.
oh, the hedgehog.
That took us down a very, really, really bad path.
Do you think that there's Bambi Nazi fan art?
Okay, we really need to
Zero
not
days!
go
Zero
down
days!
this path again, guys.
9.
Oh my god, erase that and write 9.
Can I see the marker? Do you have a marker?
I don't have a marker, but do whatever you gotta do.
If I could put negative days on here, we could do like negative 3 days.
Like we're going to talk about Nazis for the next 3 days.
We made it 26 minutes without.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a new
pretty
record.
good. That's pretty good.
It's a new record, really.
But yeah, those are the spirit animals.
Actually,
Okay.
what we'll do is we'll cut out a little picture from Downfall from the bunker scene,
Oh,
and we'll
okay.
just put it right there with 99999 with the caption.
We can make it work. I have a printer downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I have a printer and tape. We'll
That
figure
is
this out.
such a good movie.
Indeed. Indeed it was. But yeah, I bought a printer, so I have that now.
Nice.
I'm an adult with the printer.
You have forms.
I've tried to have a printer and they reject me. Like every printer I've ever owned, I try to make it work and it's just like, nah, fuck you.
9.
Do you have
9.
bad credit because of all the blankets?
Do I have bad credit?
Because of all the blankets?
What do blankets have to do with
You buy a lot of
my
blankets.
credit score? I can afford blankets, Ben.
That wasn't the question.
I'm not buying blankets on credit, okay? I can
Like-
buy my blankets on. I didn't actually didn't even buy this one.
When you
Michelle
first
bought it
mentioned
for
them,
me.
like blankets, is he about to bring up like plague blankets? What are we doing here? Like, where are we going with this conversation?
Yeah,
Like,
did I miss something? This is some kind of Nazi joke sneaking up
Yeah,
on me
I don't
here.
know.
oh, I
think
was
he's
thinking
just trying to talk shit.
about
I
about
was. They can't all be zingers, guys. Some of them have to fail.
you can't win them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really thinking about smallpox.
You gotta have the balls to try. Some days I'm Tyson, some days I'm Jake Paul. Right now I'm Jake Paul. I failed.
Well, didn't he win
He
the fight?
did win though
He won the fight
One.
against a 58-year-old man.
Yeah.
against a 58-year-old.
I like the one meme was
Failed to
the
be a
guy
man.
was like, I can't believe I waited for like the buffering screen just to see Mike Tyson fight like he had gout.
Have you seen the meme that's like Jake Paul challenges Jimmy Carter?
Yes.
I did. Oh man.
Oh man. Okay.
Still undefeated, the internet.
Oh, it takes no time.
It'll.
Anywho, all right, let's dive into this thing here. If you couldn't tell by the title of this episode, we're going to talk about some horrible jobs. If you think your job sucks, just wait till you hear about these.
Yeah, you need some pick me up from that seasonal depression. You got some overtime work that you don't want to do.
Seasonal depression is just starting,
Yeah, it's
and
just
it's
starting.
a bitch.
Yep,
God, don't
here's something to
remind
help
me.
you out.
Mm-hmm.
Make you feel a little
It
better.
was
about
nice
yourself.
today.
It was nice today.
It was.
Yeah, that was cool. All right, so we're gonna start this one off with Ben. Ben, what you got for us, man?
I don't want to.
Okay.
But
It's that seasonal depression.
no, it's just difficulty. I have something called a human garden gnome or ornamental hermit.
Yes.
Oh, I like
Yes,
that better.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically in the 18th and early 19th century, if you were wealthy enough, you could buy your very own old person.
Pretty much.
Decorative old person.
And
Where?
Yes.
where there you put out ads.
Old people are us.
You put out ads for these things. So people would come
The penny saver.
and yeah, oh God no. There was one guy, I mean, and it's not gonna be the one that it's not gonna be the standard, but there was one guy that was paid the equivalent for the duration of his contract, whatever it was. But he was paid or would have been paid if he didn't break it to the equivalent of like 1.2 million pounds today.
It's a lot of pounds.
That's a lot of pounds. And it's a lot of money in a silly currency.
At least it's not loonies and toonies.
Yes.
Canada's not real.
It's not. I do think it's funny that that English money is essentially an imperial measurement, and our money is metric.
Oh yeah, you're
We don't give a
right.
fuck about that logic after 1776.
I'm just saying. I think it's
You're
funny
right,
that our money is metric.
Yeah.
When you think about it, because it's in tens
Yeah,
and whatnot. But then they have imperial money.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at sterlings, pounds, and everything else. Anyway,
they think they're so much better than us with their fucking metric system.
well, they always have. That's why they stole.
A lot.
Yes, and they're
For a different episode.
and their funny hats. But yeah, wealthy landowners employed individuals to live as hermits on their estates, adding a touch of rustic charm and mystique
rustic,
to their carefully landscaped gardens. That was the objective.
rustic charm.
Yes, and so you remember
That's realtor speak.
so you remember you remember Yoda's hut on Dagobah.
Of course.
I knew you did.
He got tired and died.
I have no idea what you guys
He
are.
went to sleep, according to DJ.
The alcohol planet where he was just drunk.
Yes,
Oh, fuck.
yes, the little hut he lived in, like that. So they would live in these things called hermitages,
Yeah, I remember. That's where the word hermitage comes from.
and yeah. So the purpose of it, wealthy estate owners were influenced by romantic ideals. That's what I saw everything coming back to. But romantic ideals valuing nature, solitude, and a sense of the sublime.
Yes, nothing more romantic than a feral person.
It wasn't feral; he was just old and unkempt.
Just because they're old doesn't mean they're not
Yeah.
feral.
Exactly.
Don't let Brandy near the homeless. She's gonna go on a cleansing.
Hey, I'm probably more feral than they are.
That's true.
I don't know what to do with that. Anyway, so living conditions. These hermits often housed in purpose-built hermitages or grottos, rustic structures designed to appear ancient or natural, one or the other. And these dwellings were intentionally Spartan, is how it would be described for whatever reason. I don't know why it kept coming back to that, but whatever. I'm not an architect. Reflecting the aesthetic of a reclusive lifestyle. So again, that the best example I have is the Yoda's hut on Dagobah.
Yeah, my first thought when hearing about these things was like just a bunch of Gandalfs living in a shire.
Yeah, I imagine like a little hobbit house where like
Yeah, no,
some tiny little old man is in there and like you can go up to him and he can pretend to put a spell on you or something.
That's so like, it's funny being like that rich where you could just pluck old and homeless people, but like, look, here's a funny hat on him. Look at, he's a gnome now.
Well, and that's the thing is they weren't plucking them. They would put
Yeah, they were,
ads
like,
out on the paper. They have
voluntary.
ads. They have ads that have survived to this day and age. That are in museums and whatnot where you can see,
That's amazing.
Lord so and so, seeks
6 feet below the man.
hermit or whatever, and for things like food from the house, but you're gonna stay here. There was one really good one actually. I think it was the 1.2 million pounds one, where he could have had unlimited books in his little hut, or at least access to, unlimited books wherever he wanted, food from the house. When he was on the job, he couldn't talk to any
I
other
was say,
servants.
aren't they like not allowed to talk to
So,
people?
yeah,
It
that's
depends.
What's the
It
job?
depends.
Like, do I just like fucking strike a pose and I could just like
No,
chill in the
so
fucking corner all day?
Think of a Christmas decoration. You don't walk up to it because it's not going to talk to you, right? So, but in this case, you're treating that human like a Christmas decoration.
Like they just
you
sit outside.
You just
and,
look
like,
at it.
tend their little
But-
gardens
Yeah.
or whatever.
But also, that's not always true because there are other ones where they wanted them to talk, not to servants, but to people and give their wisdom to. So again, the Yoda thing.
Can you talk
that's
to
what
my
I'm familiar
friends,
with.
but use
Yeah.
a really strong Cockney accent?
It really went down both. It went down both avenues.
Giving him wisdom.
So-
He's like, hey kid, I never got to buy a book again.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Here's my wisdom. Do this.
Free macaroni and
But-
cheese for the rest of my life. Dude.
There was a guy.
Don't get high on your own supply.
There was a guy that
Beer before liquor, never sicker.
here's Your mother's a whore, Trebek.
You don't actually have to go to school. I didn't do shit, man. And I make good money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There was a guy that broke his contract after 3 weeks, and they found him at an inn, drunk off his ass. that was how he quit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is actually like a real thing though, still kind of, because I saw a TikTok recently where in Japan there is an app where you can like rent old people for the day. And you can like connect with an old person and it'll give you like a list of things that they like will and won't do. Like I'll go to a family party with you, or I won't, these are the languages that I speak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just like hang out with an old person for the day. Yeah, it's a real thing. So
Yeah,
we are
that's-
still doing this shit. To this day, we are doing this bullshit. We are renting human beings.
Yeah, because in my head, I'm like, I
What do
had
you
a-
have to put in the no list? Do you have to be like no penetration?
Yeah, probably.
Dude, I'm getting an old man to be my getaway driver for a bank robbery in Japan.
I'm a suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
antics hijinks and shenanigans will ensue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad that that Puerto Rican John isn't here. Because like I really feel like there's a slavery
Rican.
joke in here somewhere
Juan.
that he would find.
Puerto Rican John.
Puerto Rican. Have you seen that video?
The Rican?
Rican.
My Rican
I feel Rican up in here.
I can already tell I'm changing his name in my phone very
Beady, beady,
soon.
beady, beady, bamba.
Shit. God damn.
We need to remember to tell ChatGPT that John's Puerto Rican.
After this episode, I think it's gonna get the hit.
This is true.
It's gonna get the hit about this.
This is true.
It's fine.
But I'm gonna wait to ask you until my turn's over. So job requirements. Hermits were expected to live in solitude, avoid cutting their hair or beard, and sometimes wear specific robes or outfits. In some cases, they were forbidden from interacting with others, though this varied by estate. And then also they were typically, it doesn't seem like it was a hard and fast rule, but more often than not, they were told to not cut their fingernails and toenails.
For aesthetic purposes.
So they seem like an old miser.
Like, we want you to look as gross as possible.
Yeah.
Contracts could last several years, but some ornamental hermits found the conditions unbearable and abandoned their posts. Not all estates employed actual hermits. Some simply built uninhabited hermitages to evoke the image of solitude without needing a person. And that is where it got creepy, because in the 18th and 19th century, especially the 19th, where it starts falling out of favor, they built hermits. They built these human garden gnomes, basically life-size human puppets with marionette strings. So you can imagine a Disney of your nightmares.
No, thank you.
And fortunately or unfortunately, obviously, it's way too early for there to be photographs of it. Unfortunately, but I can only imagine it being pure nightmare fuel to watch this thing fucking come alive.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
And, eat your vegetables. That's its wisdom. And everything. Yeah, somebody would be like piloting it. And, so by the mid-19th century, the fashion of ornamental hermit had waned due to changing tastes and the Industrial Revolution shift in societal priorities. Modern legacy. The concept of ornamental hermits survives as a footnote in history and an example of the eccentricity of Georgian and Romantic era landscaping. And hermitages and grottos built during that period remain as historical landmarks in some gardens today. So there is, even though we call them human garden gnomes, the actual garden gnome doesn't come from this.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just we link it linguistically.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, I originally, when I started reading about it, I thought it was going to be like influenced from the time that that people were using human garden gnomes, and like, okay, so this is a holdover. But before garden gnomes, people were doing garden gnome things just without garden gnomes. So Greek gods.
Garden gnome things.
Yeah, Greek gods, animals, things like that, miniature, little statuettes.
Just doing garden gnome things.
Yeah, but yeah, that's your human garden gnome or ornamental hermit.
Nice.
Ornamental hermit.
Yeah, that's
I mean, nowadays with internet and whatnot, that's the job to have.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't give any good advice though. I'd be there ruining people's lives
I give great
as
advice.
much as I possibly could.
I would give great advice.
Charlie
I
would be a
feel
good,
like-
good gnome.
He's not going to walk off the job.
if I were
Yeah.
rich enough, I would definitely employ someone just to like chill on my property.
It'd be Melina.
Yeah, it would be Melina.
And there's no wisdom.
Because you know that bitch ain't doing nothing.
There's no
She's just in your front yard dancing, like,
Yeah.
by herself.
No
just
shoes.
vibing. Yeah, it's-
Obviously not.
Excuse me, Ornamental Hermit, I've come here for wisdom. I was coming to you for it. I hear it already.
Insert something about penis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I dance like this. Starts to do the Elaine.
Oh, jeez. Does she listen to this podcast? She shouldn't.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
She should not.
I'm not saying anything I want to say to her.
Accurate though. Yeah, I do too. I'm talking bad shit to that woman.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
She knows it.
It's out of love.
It is out of love. We love you, Melina, even though you're not listening to this.
Anywho, speaking of jobs, so we got a couple more horrible jobs, and a few of these myself and B are going to share. So I'm going to start off with the one I got though. A wool fuller. A wool fuller.
a woofler.
Wool fuller.
A woofler.
A waffler.
A waffler.
The woobla.
You put
Arugula.
okay, wait. You put wool in something.
No.
No. Does it have anything to do with wool?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot to do with it,
Do
actually.
you fluff the wool?
Sorta.
Okay.
What do you get there?
I don't like the way Brandy said fluff.
Well, it's something. Middle Ages. Yeah, this is going on in England. So, Middle Ages England, and to this day, actually, England has a lot of fucking sheep. Like, England has a lot of sheep. So back then, wool was their main their main product that they made. Was, you know, they were able to export it and known for having some of the best wool in the country of dear old England and the UK and Europe and what have you. So the thing is,
What's happening? What's happening?
Oh my God, what is going on right now?
What does it say? Wait, what?
We did it!
What does it
We
say?
did it!
It doesn't even make
Wait, let me
sense.
see.
Oh, we successfully.
I feel like this is a leading question.
I don't give a
You need
shit!
to ask it what
These are cold hard facts.
what race is John from
For the listeners that have no idea what the fuck is happening right now, and
Pure
why we've been
chaos.
derailed,
Pure chaos just now.
So happy.
and why we've been derailed again.
No, I feel like that's a leading question.
Ben just so happened to ask
I don't accept
Chat
this.
GPT
You wouldn't.
what nationality John
No,
is.
he asked, is John from Required Taste Podcast Puerto Rican?
You bullied ChatGPT.
We. I'm not taking credit for this on my own. I'm not a selfish son of a bitch.
Ask it, what race is John from Required Taste Podcast? Ask it that. And then see
Continue,
what it
John.
says.
Or continue, Aaron. I'm sorry.
Now I'm John. Ain't that
You're
about a bitch?
definitely not Puerto Rican.
Nope. I mean, I could be. I have skin tone for it.
J-Lo ain't Puerto
But-
Rican?
I mean, Puerto Rico's coming all kind of
Yeah.
shades.
Blonde, blue eyes,
Literally.
dark skin, light skin.
Yep, all of them. They are an interesting people. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Cool place. Want to go visit?
Selena wasn't Puerto Rican. But the girl who played her Puerto Rican.
This is even worse.
Oh my God.
What does it say?
John, one of the hosts of the Required Taste podcast, is African American.
See, it's just making shit
shit.
up.
Can't have
it-
shit.
Unless you and John swapped bodies.
Can't have nothing nice.
We've gone too far into the AI.
White man took over Woman of the Year. Now I can't even be black. White man took everything from us. Can't have shit nice. Anyways,
Oh.
So what is the wool fuller?
a
thing?
wool fuller.
Yes.
Back to the damn topic.
What is
Ben.
he?
Jeez, man.
Arugula do?
Out of all the people to derail this damn show,
I was just happy
could you
that
not?
I didn't forget to ask ChatGPT.
You could have done exactly what. Anyways,
It wasn't one of us this time, DJ.
right? I expect this from you, sir. Hooliganism.
Good word.
Thank you. Anyways, back to business. Wool from these sheep. So this wool is going to be is a dirty product. I mean, it's on an animal's body, outside elements all day, You got to clean this shit, right? So what they would have to do is they would hire people to clean it.
Oh.
And the process of cleaning the wool, that's where the dirty part, this is where the shit part comes in. And actually, it's not shit though, thankfully. They would have to have people march in place in a vat of wool. So you have wool, put it in a vat, kind of like stomping grapes.
I was just gonna say,
It's like stomping grapes.
to make wine.
It's the same kind of concept, but you're not making wine.
So what is it? Is it wet? You're like,
oh, it is.
okay. So you put
the wool in the water
Yeah.
and you stomp on it.
It
to,
ain't
like,
water.
Clean it? No.
oh,
What is it?
is it
Oh,
cow
no.
piss or something?
Here's
no.
the part that sucks.
I bet
scared.
it's cow piss.
We're not cows.
Okay.
Some sort of piss.
It is.
Did Brandy piss in the barrel?
Maybe. So the best way to remove dirt and grease and whiten the wool was to use stale human urine.
Oh,
Not fresh.
Not fresh.
Stale.
Stale.
yeah.
Human
Cold.
urine. So you're standing there in place, marching in place on piss wool.
Imagine you have like a little cut on your toe.
No.
Well,
Oh no.
that day and age, you didn't have to imagine. You just did.
Yeah, it wasn't a good job. That's for damn
No,
sure.
no.
Yeah.
And honestly, I went to cow piss just because I don't know if you know or not, but we use that in diesel in diesel now.
Oh.
Cow
Yeah,
piss?
yeah. So you have it's in the filtration. It's not actually in the diesel fuel, but it's in your filtration system. So if you see something called you'll see something called like a urea filter. That's that's urine.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's why I went there.
I see. Yeah, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's, that's the base ingredient of it and, so on, down the line and whatnot
Sure,
that makes
sure.
this. But yeah,
So Wool Fuller is a piss stomper.
Yep.
Nice.
that's a great band name.
Piss
Stomper?
stomper.
Piss Stomper.
Yeah.
That is a good band
That is
name.
a good
That actually is a good bad
The Puerto
yes.
Rican Piss Stomper.
Piss stomper and the Puerto Ricans.
We're getting canceled.
Okay. What's next? What's next? What do you want to talk about next?
Well,
wanna
it reminded me of another job, so I looked it up real quick just because after speaking on that, I'm like, okay, there's something else that I remembered that was really bad. I had to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
A violin string maker.
Oh, I know what this is. Ew, ew, ew.
That's got to be tendons,
Ew.
We're gonna get there.
I assume.
Don't like
So
it.
I was gonna read. I didn't write my notes on this.
I was going to mention when you were mentioning like how dirty wool was and everything. It did bring me back to all the videos you watched when you were a kid in school, of course. And they're going, because you learn how things are produced.
Oh, yeah.
At least in the school of our era. But and everything.
Right.
And I always remember when you would see like sheepskin shorn and whatnot and everything. It is nasty looking.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's usually pretty dirty. There's probably
Yeah.
like bugs in there and
Oh,
shit.
100%.
Oh, a ton of stuff,
They're
yeah.
outside. The dirt's blowing into them from the wind and everything. But like, yeah, it is not. Ugh. And also, it always bothered me that when we were in school, everything was textiles.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
the whole economy everywhere was, they make textiles. They make textiles. I can't remember one teacher that told me what a textile
That was. Yeah.
They just told you textile.
Mm-hmm.
And I was an adult when I found out what a textile was.
Yeah.
I don't remember learning what a textile was. I don't.
No,
remember,
that's what I mean. Like,
Where
you
that
learn-
knowledge entered my brain.
Yeah, like you learn that was what people sold and traded, and at least for an agrarian economy.
I always heard it was like spices.
Well, I mean, that's what launched ships, but
Yeah.
yeah. But anywho,
So violin
Yeah.
stringer.
that's why.
they still-
That's where I
Violin
went
string
from.
maker. I'm sorry.
That's
This
where I
is
went
like
from
the
wool.
same process to this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but yes, very true. So violin string maker. Prior to the 17th century, revolutionizing the technology of string for musical instrument, the industry was decidedly more disgusting. Let's find out why. So in order for a string to be thick enough to play lower notes on a violin, which back then only had 3 strings, the preferred method was twisting strands of sheep innard together String makers would have to butcher the sheep very carefully so to not rupture the stomach or lower intestine, making it very painstaking. Hours of trimming away fatty tissue, blood vessels, and muscle. The guts had to be soaked in a solution of wood ash for the clean and monitored so that they did not dry or rot. The innards were then dried, twisted together to make bass strings.
Wow.
So that's how they made violin strings back in the day.
Well, they still do.
Well, they still
For more expensive violins, they are still.
They're
made
still
of, like,
I really
sheep
had my money on
intestines.
tendons. Like for bow and arrow.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
Back in the day, I really had my money on tendons and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I think you're right as far as like not Stradivarius. Actually, it might be Stradivarius.
Like fancy violins.
That's one of the fanciest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know very little about violins. I think they're beautiful. I can't play one for shit.
I know the strings are made out of sheep intestines.
Indeed.
I know that.
But it makes a very, very nice noise.
Well, in protest, I'm never going to the opera again.
Oh, darn.
I've been to
Very
one.
vegan of you.
So the other ones, there are
Yeah.
the two that we have
Should
to share. I'm going to start off with
Should we have them guess what a sin eater is?
yeah. All right. So one of them is sin eater. So do you guys ever heard of the term before?
What do you guys think of sin eater?
I mean,
By the way, I brought this up earlier because Leslie asked me like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about today?" I was like, "Oh, we're talking about horrible jobs." Da, da, da. So her mom, Dar was like, "Oh, well, like, what's like? Can you think of one that you're gonna talk about?" Like, yeah, sin eater. She's like, "Oh, I know what that is," and proceeded to tell me what it was off the top of her
How
head.
does she know what it is?
I didn't ask.
That's weird.
This sounds like a really cool name for like a pastor.
I mean,
it is religious based.
it's religious based.
I mean, it sounds evangelical, if anything. The snake handlers.
It's okay.
yeah.
We'll say it's Catholic.
Yeah.
It's kind of Catholic.
It sounds very Catholic.
It's a Catholic thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Appalachia, where they're handling the snakes. That's
Okay.
that's what I'm
I'll
So,
be down
talking
there
like,
soon.
okay, so this practice of being a sin eater was kind of older, and the most recent practice of sin eating was in Appalachia.
Oh, okay. So there, yeah. there you go.
Appalachia?
Appalachia.
I say Appalachia.
Appalachia. Sorry.
That's how I've always heard it. You can say either, but
So I think Appalachia's right.
yeah. If you live there, it's Appalachia.
They actually-
I know
Okay.
that for a fact.
That's like the most recent iteration of sin eating is in Appalachia.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll be down there
Yeah, I've only
next year.
I love it down there, but I've only ever heard in the figurative sense.
Sure.
Yeah, so being a sin eater, so something else can stay pure.
So yeah,
Kinda
that's
thing,
pretty
yeah.
The same
accurate.
kind of
Oh,
concept.
I'm sure it is, but yeah, I've only ever heard it in like in a modern figurative sense.
Yeah.
Well, this ain't modern, and thankfully, it's pretty disgusting. So, what they would do, you have a dead dude, right? And you would have the family come through, and they would lay the body out on a table.
Oh, boy.
The family would be there, and you would hire a sin eater to come and.
This already sounds decidedly voodoo. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a little bit. So it
Yeah, a
was
little
like
bit.
it's technically a Catholic practice, but it's not sanctioned by any churches. It's not like approved by the Catholic Church. In fact, it was actually pretty frowned upon by the Catholic Church. They were like, "Don't do that shit."
So it was,
Brother,
Yeah, brother.
it was probably, so it's probably something in a practice that they absorbed through some people that they absorbed.
Yeah.
As Christianity
Yeah.
is, yes.
They're like, look, you can do it. Just don't tell anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It was like, it's you shouldn't do that. It's cheating.
Because it was weird because they would also have a party about it too.
Yeah.
Like they were hanging out while this was happening. Anyways, so what they would do is the sin eater themselves would eat food off of the dead body to absorb the sins of the dead person.
Yeah, they would put like a little pastry, like a biscuit or something, on their like chest or their torso, and that would absorb all of the sin that was left in the person's body. And they would usually have like ale or beer, like whatever with it. And the sin eater would come in and gobble that shit up, right? Because they're usually very poor people and they're starving.
It's just one of these fucking ornamental hermits found a
Pretty
different
much.
job.
Pretty much, yeah.
I needed fucking
Yes.
food.
Yes.
That's all it is.
This is just like a world of Greg's. Jeez. Like,
Well, these sin eaters were considered like the lowest members of society.
Gee, I wonder why.
So yeah, great. You're right. Yeah, you got it. He also listens to this podcast.
just walking down the street, seeing a sign for an open job position.
He doesn't even know what it is. It just says sin eater, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah!"
It's not even a job position. He just knocks on Fagin Miller. Asks,
Yeah.
"You got anything to eat?"
Fucking rock and roll. Let's do it.
But yeah, so they would eat the whatever was laid out on the dead person, and then they would effectively absorb their sins, like dooming their own soul, essentially. But then the dead person who their family hired for them, they would get to go to heaven and skip purgatory. So they were. It was cheating, essentially,
Right.
being like, oh, I can do whatever the fuck I want during my life because when I die, I'll just have a sin eater absorb all my sins for me.
That sounds like some Appalachian shit.
It sounds like some Catholic shit, actually.
Yeah.
It super sounds like some Catholic
Well, it's
shit.
just weird to hear
You're
about.
rich enough, you can get into heaven.
It's just weird to hear.
Well, I mean, how many times have
purgatory
you
in
done it?
Appalachia.
Like,
I
well,
feel like
because
that's generally Protestant territory.
it might be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so that,
But-
it's interesting
But there's
from all
there's some
sides.
weird shit that
No,
Well, but-
because I think you're watching roads collide. That's why I made the comment earlier about absorption.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like you're watching cultures intersect right there.
Well, the reason why I made said that thing about Catholic Church, like, you know, that sounds like a Catholic thing to do, because there's been how many jobs that'll get
Oh,
people
yeah.
out of going to go to hell.
yeah. None
It's like
of the
her-
Catholics want to be in purgatory.
It's like, okay, wait a minute,
They want to pay their way out of it.
I would say, or donations.
go to crusades, you'll be fine.
That's,
Whatever you do there, it's fine.
you're at the church like begging for forgiveness, like I'll do anything to get into heaven. The pastor's like anything.
Go kill the Muslims or eat the sin thing. It's
Yeah.
fine. Or if you weren't poor, you could pay for a pardon. They were selling pardons for a while.
Yeah.
Like they legitimately sold get out of hell free cards.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's the
that
crazy
was,
thing.
that was a practice for a long time.
Oh, the Catholics.
I love
Yeah.
that. I would love to get a hold of one of those, like if that was in writing.
They were in writing.
And actually, if I could find one of those somewhere
They
in
were
my
in writing.
my
I mean,
travels.
You
Oh,
could
that'd be
literally buy.
interesting.
I mean, dude,
it was
if
like
it-
a certificate.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. If
I
I,
mean,
could find a
if it's in
physical copy.
Appalachia, it ain't that old. I'm sure there's plenty of these things lying around.
Yeah, I would love to own one of those.
Get out of hell free card.
Yeah.
Compared to like ye old England, you know, I'm sure.
I'll be at the gates. I'm like, hey, oh,
Wait a minute.
Yep.
what the fuck is this? Don't take
Who- who-
backsies.
I want to reverse on your ass.
You get
Open
there.
up, bitch.
St. Peter's like, well, you got your ticket, and you're just like, oh fuck, wait, did I leave that in my other wallet?
Call me Willy Wonka, bitch.
Yo, the hoes got wings up here. What's up?
Move out of the way, you old dusty bitch.
I bought 3 of these just in case.
I'm selling mine. I'm not even using it. I'm selling it.
Yeah, scalping them.
Scalping them.
Stole this
Standing
one.
outside the gates.
Stole this one from a Girl Scout. She was a fighter.
Oh man. But yeah,
Excuse me.
it was like I was reading about the sin eaters, and it was kind of sad because they would like say a prayer. They would be like, you know, I absolve you of your sin, and in doing so, doom my own soul, and you know, basically like have fun up in heaven. And then they would say this prayer, and they would do the thing, and then the family would like chase them out of the house. They would be like,
Oh,
"Be
right,
gone,
yeah.
sinner!" And they would like hit them with sticks and stuff.
Oh,
As is the Catholic way.
Yeah.
Come on now, get
Go now.
get out of here.
Exactly.
Jesus died for our sins. We ate for his.
Which way is down? Back the way you came. I do have to admit that's better than what I was getting ready for. Because I was getting ready for it to involve like a piece of flesh.
I thought they
Oh,
were
yeah,
going to
sure,
eat
sure.
a piece of the dude.
Yeah, not the whole thing, but like
Not
a
quite.
piece.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting ready for.
Maybe that's what happens in Appalachia.
Well, that's probably the voodoo part that
Yeah.
got crossed out that I mentioned earlier.
Somebody misread something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
You got to cut a piece of them out. And we got to eat it. You can't just eat food
Well,
on top of it.
there's some Catholic in
What are we,
Haiti.
vegetarians?
I'm not going to waste the pastry and put it on top of it.
There's some Catholic in Haiti trying to like take this tradition and like, well, I'm not doing that. how about we use a dessert? They have absorptive properties. We'll use sponge cake.
Yeah,
What if we
sponge
just
cake.
put it on top of them?
Oh man, good times. The other one that we both ended up looking up was Leech Collector. Leech Collector.
A leech collector.
It sounds like what it is. It's pretty
basically
literal.
very-
That's one of the ones I scrolled past, but I didn't.
Like, I just can only imagine. Like, all right, so the job was very basic. You rolled your pants, and went into a bog,
Yep. Walked your ass through the leech infested waters. They all
and
stuck to your feet and your
Yep.
legs and your ankles.
yep, and
you
you
just-
walk out.
Fuck
sell 'em.
you.
Pick them all off.
Leeches sucking on your toes and
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
Yep. But the thing is, it would take like because whatever the leeches like inject into you or whatever, it would take like 10 hours for you to stop bleeding after you pull the leeches off. So these people died like all the fucking time.
The pressure dressing wasn't invented for several hundred more years, probably.
Probably, yeah, because this was at the time of like bloodletting and
Yeah.
stuff. So
That sucks.
Yeah.
Like if you hate your job and you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't want to do this, you can think of a leech collector.
Yeah.
Like waking up in the morning and his wife's like, you're gonna be late. He's like, I know! I know I'm gonna be late.
so I don't get 5 extra leeches. Big goddamn deal.
Give me a second.
To put it in perspective, I think they put leeches on Washington on his deathbed.
People still use leeches.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't
still use
Washington, it
leeches
was
for, like-
Lincoln. But I really
I
think
want to say it was Lincoln.
I could have sworn it was Washington, though.
You're probably right.
I can't feel like anybody was
Look it
dumb
up.
enough. I can't feel like anybody was dumb enough to use leeches for a freaking gunshot wound to the head. But you never know.
I don't know.
It's
They
like one of those
still-
like if we don't try it, nothing,
What's it gonna hurt?
what's the worst I
Yeah.
could just throw a leech on him.
What's he gonna do? Lose more blood?
It was right. You're right. It was Washington.
Washington. Okay. Yeah. I know they were on his. It was on his
Man,
deathbed.
That's a rough job. I wonder if that paid in any way.
Well, it was usually women who did it. Sometimes men, but it was very poor people who, because you would get infections, so you would sometimes bleed to death.
Can only imagine the water you're walking around in.
Oh yeah, full of disease.
Yeah, it's only where the Black Plague happened.
Sometimes they would use animals. So, like, if you had like a horse or a cow or something, you would just walk them out there, and the leeches would stick to their legs.
I'm surprised a horse will go for it.
Rude as fuck.
Is that where we got the never-ending story from?
Why would you do
Is
that?
that just like an analog for
God damn it.
Ajax?
Jesus, Ben. Just having a day, are we?
Fucking ruined it for everybody.
Just having a day. Just
Tomorrow.
have-
Hey, if I have to suffer Monday, tomorrow everybody does.
It's not Monday yet.
right?
I said tomorrow.
Yeah, shut up, Ben.
No. Walk home, Brandy.
Fine.
This episode will come out on Tuesday, so I guess
Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
yes.
That's true.
Caveat to all this.
Yeah, so leech collector.
leech collector.
Yep.
Yep.
That sucks.
And they would sell their leeches to doctors and shit.
Yep.
How
It's
long?
after he just rips it.
How long was the practice in not use, but how long was it in practice?
Until bloodletting and leeches like kind of fell out of fashion from like medical perspective.
Okay, but like when did it start though? Like, do we know or
I don't know, probably when they started sticking leeches on people.
Oh.
They had to get them from somewhere.
fair?
Yeah, like at one point
I'm
when
just- I'm
somebody
curious.
were like, you know what, this
I'm-
is probably not the best job.
Yeah.
to be
I'm just
doing,
curious
you
how
know.
long of a tradition this was.
I'm not
that's
sure.
that's the thing.
I
I'll look
don't
up.
think I saved any exact dates.
There might not be an answer.
Yeah, it was just like, you know,
I don't think I've ever seen a leech.
from this time to
either.
like that.
I have.
I have, and they're fucking nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Leeches are disgusting.
Keep thinking about like a leech being stuck in like the web of my toes.
Enjoy sleeping tonight.
All their like thousands of circular teeth.
I'm gonna go to DJ's house tonight with a feather. What the hell is that?
The only thing I found as far as job wise, it was a job between the 18th and 19th century. It doesn't give exact.
Oh wow,
Yeah, it doesn't give it exact.
that's a shorter window though. Than I would have
well,
expected.
maybe because it's as a profession.
Sure. Yeah,
Because
that'd be
people
the-
probably were
Yeah, like,
doing
you
it.
just couldn't put
Right.
it on your resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people could.
Yeah, the
if
word
they lived.
resume hadn't been invented until the 18th century. until then, it was just the resume. Highbrow joke.
Because I got it, and I'm mad at you about it. Like, you see the look I gave you when
I
when
do.
it all connected to my brain? God damn, get out of my house. All right, B, you had another one, though,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
I have a whipping boy.
Ah, yes.
So, like, a whipping boy is like a pretty common phrase. You know, people say, you know, you're gonna be the whipping boy or whatever. It's a pretty modern phrase that's kind of used
I've actually never heard it until
Really?
looking
Really?
into this episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, to be somebody's whipping boy. I've heard the phrase all the time.
Yeah.
There's no way we haven't said it about Charlie in front of you.
Maybe it's because I was the
Yeah,
whipping boy.
exactly. Yeah, because it would have been
you are
Yeah.
the whipping boy.
like for example, just like you said, like as an example, Charlie would be our whipping boy.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the modern phrase "whipping boy" is a person who is blamed for the mistakes of others or who is unfairly treated. So yeah, whipping boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally Charlie.
Yeah.
It's funny we don't live together anymore, and he's still catching flack on the podcast.
We should like
He
edit
sure
that on
is.
Wikipedia, like to do our own edit and put his picture on for like whipping.
Oh no!
Let's just bully Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to ask tell us about Charlie.
Yeah. See,
Oh.
see if ChatGPT knows who
Yeah,
Charlie is.
Charlie from Required Taste Podcast or something. Try to link it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like Charlie is one of the main hosts
It's
of
gonna
Required
say
Taste Podcast.
it's gonna say Charlie's Puerto Rican and African American.
All right. Okay. So whipping
Yeah.
boy. Okay. So basically, like throughout history, nobility was seen as like untouchable. Like you can't like physically untouchable. You are not supposed to touch the nobility. Don't touch them. They stay a certain amount of feet away from the royals. Okay. They're protected by like God's divine power, etc. So then like as princes and princesses are like being little shithead kids, how do you discipline them if you can't touch them? Right? What are you going to do? Take away their Xbox? Like, you can't do anything. So they would hire basically like these little kids who were the same age as the princes or princesses or the nobility that they were trying to discipline. And they would like be like, okay, here's your new best friend, kid. This is your best friend from now until you're like a teenager. And they would get educated along the royal kids. They would get like, they would have meals with them. They would basically like be their BFF. But then when the royal kid misbehaves, their friend would get beaten. So basically, this whole profession is just,
That's wrecked.
as a child, you
It's a
get the
surrogate.
shit beat out of you in place of the royal
That's
kid.
so fucking wrecked.
Yeah. Yep.
You're already a little shithead kid, you know.
It's amazing that humanity made it. Not religion. It's amazing that humanity made it as far as it did with royalty
Yeah.
being a thing as far back as it was.
It's incredible. Like in my head, like whipping boy is Podrick. I'm gonna name him Podrick.
Podrick.
Regular rich boy nobleman is James.
Yeah.
And then like Podrick meets James for like the first time. And he's like, "Oh, James, this is so wonderful. I get to play with you in this nice house." And he just like James just tips over like a flower pot. And Podrick's like, "What? Oh, you made a mess. What did you do?" He's like, "No, Podrick, you've made a mess."
Just like a cat.
Yeah, and then like a rush of soldiers
eye
come in
contact.
and just beat the fuck out of Podrick. He's like, "This is my life now." This is
But like supposedly it was kind of like a good thing to be a whipping boy because
Yeah, probably had good benefits.
yeah, it did. So,
parents,
like,
maybe.
these boys, they lived like close to royalty. They would gain their trust. They would have access to a courtly education, opportunities, and many became trusted advisors or high-ranking nobles later in life.
I bet you Podrick would beat the fuck out of James too. Like when he figured it out, he was
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna fucking wreck you."
Yes,
I
like
will
in
destroy
secret,
you. Yeah.
It was like, you know, oh, that's James. You want to go off on an adventure? They're like teenagers. James is like, what?
I do say James has been well behaved lately.
They would like, you know, go back behind the stables or something, and Podrick's like, all right, motherfucker.
His arms still broken from the last time they fucked him up. Like, I'm sick of this shit, dude.
It's just begging for a Prince and the Pauper situation.
So yeah, that's a whipping boy. So, you know, it would suck for a while, but then I guess you would get to be noble after a little bit.
You get a callus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to figure it out. Figure out the system.
Yeah.
You know?
But like the idea was that like the noble kids would become friends with these kids and they would like them, and it would upset them to see their friends get beaten.
They'd feel guilty.
They would feel guilty,
Yeah.
exactly.
That was
So
a tactical
like
error on their part.
probably for a lot of them, yeah. So I mean, like, I'm sure that there were some empathetic royal kids that were like, no, stop beating
Yeah.
my friend. No, don't do that.
Not
but then
James.
there was James.
Yeah, James was like, "You mean I won't get in trouble?"
Then there was James the 14th.
Yeah,
You
fucking
mean,
little Joffrey.
you mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I was saying, you mean old world nobility wasn't like Macaulay Culkin's Richie Rich? Surely you just.
Yep.
There's a core memory.
Oh, that's
Richie
hilarious.
Rich. Yeah.
Richie Rich.
Yep.
Richie Rich and Blank Check.
Blank check.
Blank
oh my
check.
god.
That's my shit, dude.
When the kid
Macintosh.
kisses a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's dream right here.
Like what the fuck? I remember
It's called a double standard.
I recently saw like a video or something on YouTube about that movie, and she's legitimately like a grown ass like 20 something woman kissing a child on the lips, and I'm like, how the fuck?
90s were wild.
The 90s were very wild.
times. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the last of the
So
Wild Wild West
strange.
right there.
The Wild Wild West wasn't the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, for multiple reasons, yes. That like the unchecked internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant
Like
the movie.
the internet. Well, yeah, I know what you're going for there. Yeah, the movie and the internet before we had any kind of checks on it.
Yeah.
The internet was a wild fucking place.
Yeah. But the less said about the movie, the better.
They, I didn't hate it
I didn't hate parts of it.
because some of the humor in there was hilarious.
Okay, so like the whole racism versus short guy thing,
Yeah,
I love that scene.
yeah. Will Smith and probably the other.
I couldn't tell you. Loveless, Dr. Loveless was
Yeah.
the character. I love that. You know,
Yeah, that's that. Their banter was.
yeah.
could not fly today.
A man
but-
of your stature and shit like that. Like, this is great.
All right, Deej, what you got, man?
Well, since we were mainly talking about shit jobs, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. And I got the idea of doing this episode when we talked about the Great Stink and we talked about the Night Soilman. I don't know if you
The
guys
night soil.
remember that particular job. Just a quick recap. Before they had the sewer system, everybody would basically dump their shit onto the street, or they would put them into their own little latrines or buckets and then put them out front as if it was garbage. And these people would come at night, call the night soilman to collect it, to put it into wherever they were going to take it.
The cesspool.
The cesspool, which wasn't solving the fucking problem,
Nope. What episode is that? Do you remember the name of it?
Say, what?
The Great Stink.
It was called the
Great
Great
Stink.
Stink.
Okay,
Yeah.
go back and listen to that episode. 'Cause that
Yeah.
episode was funny as fuck.
It was the Great Stink. Because like I was like, wow, that's like a shitty job. And then I was like, there's probably like a bunch of fucking jobs that are like
Oh, yeah.
that. And there was, So on top of the Night Soilman, another one was called the Gong Farmers.
Oh yes, I saw these guys.
Yes.
I kept coming across
Somehow that sounds racist.
when I was trying to find my like jobs that I was gonna do. I just kept running into jobs that had to do with shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about shit.
There were
Every
a lot
other
of-
job
a
was
huge-
shit.
There's
the
so
fact
many of
that
them.
urbanization came before sewage, and that's a big problem.
And it's crazy because these jobs are actually really important before sewage.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
yeah,
It was already literally a shit show.
yes.
But like,
Listen to our episode about the plague
yeah.
to learn why that was so important.
And gong farmers were the same things. Middle Ages, more Asian culture. They were responsible for cleaning out and maintaining the cesspools and latrines in the city. Same thing as night soilmen, because nobody figured it out yet. You
Not
know. Now it always wasn't like the worst thing to be somebody that took care of this. I'll get to this one of these jobs here in a little bit, but some of these jobs were like you were specifically catered to somebody like a king or a queen, and you were particularly designed to like take care of them, their problems, their bathroom problems. But I'll get into that in a little one. This one is actually called Necessary Woman.
I mean,
That was the job title. It was called Necessary Woman.
Okay.
And they were employed to empty chamber pots and clean privies and things of that nature in urban areas in like
it's pretty necessary.
18th century,
Yeah.
I feel like we needed an all-woman metal band called
Called
Necessary Woman.
necessary woman.
Necessary Woman.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen those?
And they have to be heavy as fuck, like heavy as fuck.
Have you ever seen those on the side of castles? They have those rectangular bump outs that go all the way from the top all the way down.
Yeah, they would hang their ass out of the window and shit.
Well, not necessarily out of a window, but it was just a
Or,
chute.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was contained in there. Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Imagine you're like riding up to a castle on your horse. Like, oh, look at this beautiful cat. Oh, man.
God damn it!
Again.
Not again.
Damn you!
I cannot wait to meet the
Newman.
dude. I am wearing my finest cape that mother gave me. Damn it!
Son of a.
Ah,
Newman.
they ate a sheep's stomach again.
Man.
Now, the jobs before the sewage system sucked because there was certain people, like I said, that worked for like kings and queens that were more specific to them, who would literally like scrape poop from the person's butt, like do things like that to make sure they were clean. They were responsible for their personal hygiene,
that for my
hair
cat.
removal, things like
That's called a nursing home now.
But when you had that job, you were like taken care of. You were in on secrets. You sat in on meetings. Like you were heavily involved in.
They were shitting during meetings.
I have.
And meanwhile, so here's the secret battle plan. Meanwhile, there's like 6 people under the table just scrubbing with brushes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't doubt it.
I work from home, dude. Yeah, I do be shitting.
Now, after cultures started developing sewer systems, of course, these jobs weren't going to be there anymore, but there was going to be new jobs because now people had to take care of these public bathrooms that they were having because now they had troughs and things of this nature, you know what I mean, where they were doing publicly, but these places were fucking disgusting. Rome in particular, their names are really funny. Like all of their job title names. Ancient Rome had some really cool ones, but this one is called the Litrinarius.
Ah, yes, Fetch Legionarius.
Mm-hmm.
That's his name, not his profession. His name.
A dead language for a reason.
But they weren't responsible only for cleaning and the maintaining, but they were responsible for like repairs and all of that stuff for the sewage system.
Plumbers.
Yeah, so you were a plumber, you were a maintenance guy, you also cleaned them. You were kind of responsible for the whole thing.
I just thought of the little Latin words that show up under the coyote or the roadrunner during the.
Yeah. There's there are some pretty funny ones for sure.
One of my first, like when you first said like Legionarius, my first thought, I don't know why, because it's not even nearly related, went back to Robin Hood Men in Tights at the end. It's like, and I will name all demanded all the bathrooms in the kingdom be called John's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, no! The guy was like so devastated.
Just the one guy named Litrinarius, and that's why they're all called
Yeah,
Latrine.
it's like, what the
They're all named after him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yes, we had Odysseus, Oedipus, Legionarius. What?
What did
Loser.
he do?
It's like, yes, one went on a journey, one
Motherfucker
had
followed by a toilet.
toilet. I don't know why this mixed up Greece and Roman, but it's still funny. Anyways.
Okay.
Okay, so I got a couple honorable mentions that don't involve poop.
Oh, okay.
So these are actually pretty cool. This is another one from Roman culture. They had a lot of really cool ones, and I just kind of wanted to briefly touch on them. This one is a funeral clown.
I heard
yes.
this one too.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
I heard this one too.
Archimimus is what it's called.
I do not remember this from career day.
Yeah.
Please wow me.
Archimimus. Now, instead of this person being here to entertain and make people laugh at a funeral, they were more there to do some type of like interpretive dance, because in Roman culture they would have statues made of people that had passed away, especially at their funerals. So
Didn't they like dress up like the dead person?
yeah, they would basically find a way to interpret the dead person of their life, whatever it may be, what they were, and basically be on display as like a live statue at funerals.
Why do I have a feeling this has like some sort of connection with the happy clown face and the sad clown face?
That's
With, like-
that's comedy and tragedy.
No, I know, but I'm saying why do I feel like there's some sort of connection?
Oh,
Because that's traditionally Italian also. And going back
right.
to-
I'm about to say, I'm pretty sure that was
No idea.
Roman.
Yeah,
It says
I can't remember.
but
It's rooted in Roman belief. It says that it believes that the immortality of the soul and the idea of the person's qualities could live through the act of mimicry.
Okay.
So, like when John dies, we need to hire a guy to dress up as a Puerto Rican.
Just the Puerto Rican dude with gold chains. Like, just fucking bing, bang, boom, bang, 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 bang. You know, fucking.
So racist. This entire episode.
Let's just get
Banned in
the,
Puerto Rico.
let's just get the guys from Seinfeld.
I mean, one of them already got canceled for. Never mind.
Anyway,
No. The Puerto.
Yeah.
You remember Puerto Rican guy? Who doesn't want to go to the ribbon?
Oh.
That guy. They're in the Puerto Rican parade episode.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that dude.
Yes.
That dude.
He doesn't want to wear a ribbon. Like,
God damn it.
well, but I don't need to wear it. Like,
This is America.
So the person who was hired as a funeral clown would actually have to study the person that died. So they would have to basically do a form of high art demanding not only a theatrical skill, but also a psychological like insight on the person who died. So they had to kind of find a balance in between being artsy, but also not disrespectful of the dead person, you know, which is hilarious to me because how do you interpret a dance at a funeral for like hours and not like laugh?
Yeah, I know, right?
Or not at one time you're like, you know, it's like
What if like the person that you're mimicking was one of these like shit workers? How do you interpretive dance
yeah,
that?
exactly. Like, what if it was just a poor person, like who had like a criminal, something like
Yeah.
that? You know, who fucking knows? But their job was actually like really hard. They had to do a lot, like in order to be like a funeral clown. Just because it was, yeah,
It's just so funny.
It's a noble profession.
Yep.
yeah, it really is. Another one that is, I thought was hilarious. This one is from in Istanbul, and it's not even that recent. This is early 1900s. It's called a basket boy.
Okay.
And these guys were responsible for going to a bar.
Sounds like an insult. You little fucking basket boy.
The laughing and crying thing actually goes back to ancient Greece, so it's not.
I thought it was Roman.
Yeah, so
was
did
wrong.
I. So did I.
Yeah.
So I was wrong.
This is actually as early as 1960s. These basket men would hang out at these bars.
Oh, now they're basket men.
You came here as a basket boy. Today you leave a basket man.
Yeah.
We're gonna weave you into a man.
Not till you've done your first. When you didn't done your first job, then you're a basket man. Yeah, but they would hang out at these bars, and guys who would be inebriated, who couldn't, like, who were just blackout drunk. Their job was to put them in a basket that they carried on their back.
Oh,
That would carry a body and take them home.
basket.
Like a corgi.
Like an Uber?
Yeah, like a literal Uber.
Like
an
my
Uber.
first thought was Crumpus.
Like think of like a big stupid wicker basket, and he just like the guy's drunk, and he just throws his body in there and picks it up, and then
That it just makes me think of those guys. I forget which. Is it like the Philippines where they have like it's like a rickshaw, but it's like they carry it and they just walk. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
You're talking about the carriage behind the guy?
yeah, and he just like
Yeah,
picks
it's a
it up.
rickshaw.
Yeah, and he like walks.
yeah, this is
Yeah, that's definitely a rickshaw. Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine
Yeah,
if you put like a hamper on your back and wore it as a backpack, something like
Again,
that.
See,
Krampus.
You know.
No,
See,
no
yeah,
wheels.
it's
No
just
wheels.
Krampus.
It's just
Just a bunch of them, but it's Uber.
It's just making me think of Ace Ventura when nature
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
And it's the big dude.
It quits
that comes
watch
out,
out.
and it's the big dude comes out, turns around, and it's one of the Wayne's
The
brothers.
little dude, yeah, and he's like biting and shit. Yeah. That's literally it. They would imagine smoking your cigarette like, yeah, fucking shift's about to start. You got to pick up a little Istanbuli,
Chuck him in there.
throw him into your back.
Oh, we say Constantinople here, but
And that's how it felt.
Yeah.
Jeez.
yeah, it was the flesh and blood Ubers that brought it down.
But yeah, it's like Krampus, except for instead of little kids, it's drunk men.
Drunk people, yeah. They
about
hang
the
out at
same thing,
bars,
actually.
you know.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's a problem at bars where people just get blackout drunk, but the bartender's are like, I can't get these fucking people out of here.
Hey,
You
a tradition that continues.
I was gonna say, is that
All these
still a
other
problem?
jobs
know?
went away.
It's Uber now. I got
Yes,
two
it's
more.
Uber now.
And I'll save the poop one for last because there's one more poop one. This one is called the Resurrectionists.
Oh yeah,
So these guys this was also a really cool fucking band name.
Yeah.
the Resurrectionists.
I would actually be surprised if it's not one already.
Probably. Yeah. This is 18th to 19th century. These guys were responsible for basically digging up graves and selling body parts to like medical examiners in schools and things like that.
Okay.
Grave
Was
diggers.
this black market, like before it was okay to experiment on people,
Or
or
was this
after?
sanctioned?
I think
Because there was a long period where, like, we compared ourselves to horses and dogs.
I think most of this is considered illegal.
Okay.
They were paid,
they're
of course.
no right, but they
Yeah.
were doing it at night. So
Yeah.
it's like black market science.
Under
Yeah,
the
exactly.
table.
Yeah.
Because body snatcher, resurrectionists, it's the same thing. It was going to a good cause, but it wasn't
Sure.
legal.
No,
Yeah.
right.
It wasn't like they had permission from anybody to be fucking
It was like
digging up
that
these bodies.
that lady who like donated her body to science, and they ended up like just exploding her body parts over and over again to see what would happen. Did you hear about that?
That is science.
about that.
That is science.
That is
though.
like literally.
She,
They
like,
just press a
she,
big.
like-
They just press a big button that says science.
I think people think like when you do that. I think people think like you're just going to be in display at a museum.
Well, they thought, okay, so like she donated because like I guess she had a very rare form of brain cancer or something. Unless I'm mixing it up with a different story. She donated her body to like a university to be studied for like science or whatever. And I think she thought it was going to be like, you know, medical tests or whatever,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it just ended up being, she
That's-
was like a crash test dummy.
That's the most American shit ever, right there.
And I think her,
I love
I
that.
think her family
Human
like
crash
sued.
test dummy. I hope they drew the circles on her.
Hell yeah.
That was a show.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was.
That was a show with toys and everything.
Yep.
What was?
The crash test dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
That's wow.
So the last one I'm going to do is the one I was talking about, the poop cleaner who's actually catered to a specific king or queen or nobleman. They were called groom of the stool.
I came
Class
across
right
that.
there.
I definitely came across that one.
Yeah.
That's classy as
Yep.
fuck right there. And like I said, these guys were actually really, really important because they got like the maximum benefits you could get of without being a nobleman.
Mhm.
They were
You know
a
what I
whipping
mean?
boy and then they graduated to groom of the stool.
Yeah. God, that's just imagine.
See, now I wonder if this is where the word stool comes from.
I don't know. Look it up.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let that
uh,
one be a mystery.
Yep.
Yeah, it's who knows. But yeah, groom of the stool, like I said, was responsible for all personal hygiene. So removal of body hair, like, you know, taking a bath wasn't like an everyday occurrence back then. So like when they would take a bath, they were responsible for like massaging them, taking care of like pimples, like all types of shit. Because especially if you're a nobleman, like it's
Giving him a little rub and tug.
a little
Yep. The old fashioned.
long-winded one, you know. Call that Long Island.
And then in the bath water,
Yeah.
Long Island iced tea.
But these people were so important because they were like assigned to somebody. They were sitting in on meetings. They were basically involved in everything. They were able to sit in everywhere. Their families were hooked up with education, jobs, money. So it was kind of cool gig, you know. Poop, you know.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sure.
Yeah, I wonder if he was like the king was getting like his butthole scooped out. Like, and he was like, I will call you the groom of the stool. What do you think of that, Podrick? And Podrick's just like fucking, like,
What
it's
did
like
you say,
underground. Sounds delightful.
Poor Podrick.
It doesn't.
What have you gotten into?
It does make me reflect on American Gangster, Frank Lucas. You know, he was nothing but Bumpy Johnson's driver,
Yep.
and then he was the man.
Yeah.
He wasn't the underboss. He didn't have the glamorous job
Yeah.
necessarily, but he was just with him every single day.
That's like Podrick in Game of Thrones. Like, what was his thing? Like, he had a huge dick.
Yeah,
That was
I
like
remember
the
that.
thing they always hinted at in it, you know?
I remember that because like they got him like hookers or whatever, and
Yeah.
Tyrion went to go pay them, and they're like, "Oh no, we
Yeah.
don't need it. It was our pleasure."
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh man,
I never watched it.
Neither did I.
it's a good show.
That's good stuff right
Where
there.
Podrick comes from.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, we could do this episode a few times over because there's so
some
many
weird
jobs.
shit. Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot.
One of them I want to cover next time. It was a lamplighter.
Oh.
There's a story of a guy who allegedly walked like over 150,000 miles, like in his career of being a lamplighter, like in the 18th, 19th
Lighting
century.
lamps.
Yeah, lighting and diffusing lamps and cleaning.
I thought you were going to talk about knocker uppers.
Oh yeah, there's some other crazy ones where it's like you're responsible for chasing dogs out of churches, waking people up.
dogs and unruly children, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's fucking
Same thing.
yeah.
yeah.
It's hilarious, and the titles are fucking funny too.
Yeah.
But like I said, we can do this.
Well, yeah, we'll get back to that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting episode. At least it was lighthearted for once.
Yeah, for once. It's been a while.
Not horrible, not filled with Nazis. It's pretty good.
Nobody's died in this episode.
Well, people probably did. The leeches. But anyways,
Yeah, you know.
but you know, semantics. But anyways,
James did have Podrick killed.
so But yeah, if you made it this far in the episode, we appreciate you giving us a listen. Give us a like and share. We appreciate it. Give us a rating too. We haven't been rated in a while. That'd be pretty tight. Make sure you follow us on whatever your listening choice is of services. Share us with your friends, maybe with your family. Depends on how much you like a family, or hate them. Dealer's choice.
Depends on how cool your family is.
Yeah, dealer's choice. Dealer's choice on that one.
You know.
Anyways, we appreciate you guys giving us a listen, and we'll catch you next time. It'll be cool.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.